My two best friends, 21 female and 22 female, who recently started dating each other, just asked me to join their relationship, and now I'm torn between the love I've buried for years, the fear of ruining our friendship, and the possibility that I might be. When I think back on it, I never expected things to get so tangled between the three of us. Sarah and I have been best friends since we were 15, that kind of friendship that feels easy, natural, like you've known each other forever. I'll admit something though, I became friends with her because I had a crush on her. Back then, every time she smiled at me or leaned on my shoulder when we were studying together, I felt my heart do that stupid flutter thing. But I never told her. It didn't feel right. She once said, during a truth or dare game with our group, that she wasn't interested in dating or relationships, that she wanted to focus on her studies and career. Hearing that was like being doused in cold water, but I respected it. Over time, I really did grow past the crush and just valued having her in my life. After high school, we both got into the same college. It just so happened that Sarah's childhood best friend, Lily, studied there too, a year ahead of us. Sarah introduced us, and over time, the three of us started hanging out together. I liked Lily. She was funny, confident, and a little unpredictable, basically Sarah's opposite, which made their friendship make sense. Lily and I got along, but she was Sarah's person, not mine. I didn't mind that. I was just glad we'd formed this small, tight-knit trio.
2 years went by like that.
We'd go to classes, pull all-nighters during exams, and spend our weekends sprawled on Sarah's dorm room floor, binge-watching movies and talking about everything and nothing. But then, about 2.5 months ago, things started getting weird, not in a dramatic way at first, just complicated. It started when Sarah called me one evening, her voice shaky in that quiet, uncertain way she gets when she's overthinking. She told me she was having doubts about her sexuality. She said she didn't know what she was, only that she sometimes found herself looking at girls and feeling things she couldn't explain. She said she trusted me enough to share it but didn't want anyone else, especially Lily, to know. I promised her I wouldn't tell. Not even a week later, Lily pulled me aside after class. She looked serious, which was rare for her, and said she wanted to talk about something private. I remember thinking it must have been about school, but no, she told me she thought she might be bisexual. She said she hadn't told Sarah yet because she didn't know how she'd react. And then she asked me to keep it secret too. So now I was stuck in the middle, holding both of their secrets, both of their confessions, secrets that were, weirdly, about the same thing. I felt like I was walking on eggshells every time we were all together. There were moments when Sarah would look at Lily in this strangely soft way, and I'd wonder if she knew. Then Lily would tease Sarah in a flirty tone, and I'd feel my stomach twist. The tension between them was subtle, but it was there, lingering under every conversation. They'd brush hands and laugh it off, but the looks they exchanged lasted a beat too long. And I'd sit there, smiling like everything was normal, even though I knew too much. What made it worse was that I still cared deeply for Sarah. That old crush wasn't completely gone, even if I pretended it was. Watching her possibly fall for someone else, especially Lily, made me feel like I was being slowly erased. And I couldn't even be honest about it without betraying their trust. When Sarah and Lily officially started dating, I thought I had prepared myself for it. The awkwardness, the jealousy, the bittersweet mix of pride and heartbreak. They came out as bisexual a month before, and although they hadn't yet told each other at that time, it was clear that something was building between them. So when they finally confessed their feelings and got together, I did what any decent friend should do. I smiled, congratulated them, and swallowed everything else. At first, things felt okay. We still hung out together, the three of us. It was familiar, comforting even. But slowly, I started noticing that I was the third wheel, even if they never made me feel like one. The lingering touches between them, the inside jokes, the shared glances, it all made me realize that the dynamic had changed for good. I began stepping back, not in a cold or bitter way, but to give them space. I wanted to be supportive, not a reminder of what used to be. Still, it hurt. I miss Sarah, more than I could admit. She was my best friend, my first crush, the person who made everything brighter. And now, she was someone else's person, and that someone else happened to be part of our small circle. But I was genuinely happy for them. They were brave enough to be honest about who they were, and they looked so damn happy together. I told myself that was enough. Then, 4 days ago, everything turned upside down. We were hanging out at Lily's apartment, just like old times, except not really. They both looked nervous, glancing at each other like they were about to say something big. I tried to lighten the mood, cracked a few jokes, and then Sarah said it. "We've been talking and we wanted to ask you something." I remember laughing nervously, thinking it was some kind of prank. But then Lily spoke, and my heart stopped. "We were wondering if you'd want to be in a relationship with us. Like, all three of us." At first, I thought I'd misheard. A three-person relationship? Me, Sarah, and Lily? They said it wouldn't be an open relationship, it would be closed, just the three of us. I sat there frozen, trying to process what that even meant. I'd never dated anyone before, never even kissed someone, and now the two people I cared about most were asking me to join them in a relationship. I didn't say yes or no right away.
I told them I needed time to think.
For 2 days, I couldn't think about anything else. On one hand, part of me was curious, even excited. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't attracted to Sarah. I always have been. And Lily, she's beautiful too, confident in a way that draws people in. My mind went to places it probably shouldn't have. I mean, I'm a virgin. My imagination tends to overcompensate. I caught myself fantasizing about them both, then immediately felt guilty for it. But beneath the fantasies, real questions started to form. Did they actually like me that way? Or did they just feel bad for me? The guy who'd been their loyal third wheel, the one left behind while they built something new? Was this offer genuine, or just pity disguised as inclusion? I kept replaying every interaction we'd had since they got together. The times Sarah would look at me for a little too long. The times Lily would tease me and say, "You're basically part of us anyway." Maybe they meant it, or maybe they just didn't want to lose me as a friend. That's the thing that scared me most. If I said yes, and it went wrong, I could lose both of them. Not just as romantic partners, but as friends. My only real friends. But if I said no, would that change things too? Would they pull away? Would I be the outsider again? The thought of being left out completely terrifies me more than anything. I've built so much of my world around them that I'm not sure who I'd be without them. But I also know myself, I'm not built for poly relationships or anything like that. After 2 full days of overthinking, pacing my room like a lunatic, and mentally running through every possible version of what if, I decided I needed clarity. Not the vague kind of reassurance that calms you for a minute, I wanted the whole truth. So I asked them both to meet up. We went to our usual cafe, the one where everything important somehow happens, and I told them straight up, "Please, be brutally honest with me. Why did you really propose this?" Sarah and Lily looked at each other for a moment before Sarah finally spoke. "We're happy together," she began, voice steady, but a little nervous. "But something's missing." I didn't say anything, just waited. She continued, "Sometimes when we're together, like really together, we both end up wishing you were there too. Not just as a friend, but with us."
We both really like you. I didn't know how to process that.
It was like someone had pulled the floor out from under me, and yet I couldn't tell if I was falling or floating. Sarah and Lily, the two people I'd been closest to, the two people who had each other, were both saying they wanted me. Then Sarah said something that threw me even further. "It started with Lily," she said, glancing at her girlfriend with a soft smile. "She told me she had a crush on you." Lily blushed but didn't look away. "Yeah," she admitted. "I've liked you for a while. You're sweet and kind, and you've always been there for both of us. It just happened." I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, this strange mix of happiness, shock, and disbelief. Someone actually liked me. Not just anyone, Lily. And not just her, Sarah, who I'd loved quietly for years. But the logical part of my brain kicked in. Relationships, at least how I understood them, were supposed to be two-way. I didn't want Sarah doing this out of obligation or pity, because Lily had feelings for me. So I told her, "Please don't force yourself into this because Lily likes me."
I don't want that.
Sarah took a deep breath, then said, "That's not it. There's more you don't know." And that's when she told me everything. Back in high school, she said she only ever saw me as her best friend, purely platonic. She admitted that I was someone she could rely on, that I made her laugh, that I was safe. But after 2 years or so, she started seeing me differently. Feelings had crept in quietly, like shadows during sunset, barely noticeable until they were everywhere. "I started to like you," she said softly, eyes darting between mine and her coffee. "But I didn't tell you, because I thought you didn't feel that way about me. You never said or did anything that made me think you saw me like that. I didn't want to ruin what we had." Hearing her say that hurt in a way I didn't expect. All those years, all the missed moments, the glances I thought meant nothing, the times I wanted to tell her how I felt but didn't, suddenly crashed over me like a wave. I wanted to tell her I had liked her, that if she'd said something, maybe everything would have been different. But what good would that do now?
She went on.
When we started college and Lily joined us, I started having feelings for her too. That's when I started questioning my sexuality. I didn't understand how I could love both of you in such different ways. But I did. She admitted that Lily had been in her life long before I ever showed up, childhood friends, practically family. And yet, somehow, both of us had carved out our own places in her heart. So when Lily confessed to me, she said, I was happy. It felt right. But even then, part of me still thought about you. When we talked about everything, about love, and what it means, we both realized that maybe it didn't have to be either slash or maybe it could be both. I sat there speechless, staring at the table, trying to make sense of what she was saying. I couldn't tell if my heart was breaking or mending. Everything I'd ever wanted, to be loved by her, to be wanted, was right there in front of me. But it was tangled up in something I couldn't quite understand. Sarah reached out and took my hand. You don't have to decide anything now, she said. We just wanted to be honest with you. You mean so much to us. If you say no, nothing changes. We'll still be your friends. But that's the thing. Everything had already changed. There was no going back to how things were. So, yeah, this is where I'm at right now, standing at the weirdest, most confusing crossroads of my life. On paper, it sounds like some wild fantasy, right? Two girls, both beautiful, both people I care about deeply, confessing that they want me to be part of their relationship. Most guys would probably high-five the universe and call it the luckiest day of their lives. But for me, it doesn't feel that simple. It's not some fantasy. It's my real life, my real friends, my real emotions tangled up in something I can't quite define. When Sarah told me she liked me, I felt this jolt of happiness I didn't expect. Like all those feelings I buried years ago suddenly found oxygen again. And that's what's been eating at me. Because if I was truly her genuine friend, if I really meant all those times I said I just wanted her to be happy, then why was the first thing I felt relief? Why did my heart skip when she said she used to have feelings for me? It makes me feel guilty. Like I've been lying to myself, pretending I moved past my crush when deep down, maybe I was just waiting for something like this to happen. I don't know if that makes me selfish or just human. And then there's Lily. She's amazing too, funny, caring, creative, the kind of person who brings warmth wherever she goes. I've grown to care for her, truly. But she's also Sarah's girlfriend. They've been together for months. Now they've built something strong. I'm scared that stepping into that, even if they're inviting me, could break the foundation they already have. Some people would probably tell me to just go for it. To enjoy the ride, see where it goes, not overthink it. I've even had that little devil voice in my head whispering the same thing. Come on, you like them both. They like you. Why not? But I can't shake the fear that I might ruin everything. I've been friends with Lily for almost 2.5 years now, and with Sarah for 6. That's a lot of shared memories, trust, and emotional history to gamble on something I don't fully understand. I started reading up on what this kind of relationship actually is. Turns out it's called a polyamorous relationship, specifically a closed triad. Basically, it's 3 people in a committed relationship with each other, emotionally and physically, but not seeing anyone outside the trio. It's not open, but it's also not monogamous in the traditional sense. And yeah, it sounds like exactly what they're suggesting. And that's what terrifies me. I don't want to destroy what we have. I don't want awkward silences or broken trust or those long, painful looks that used to be easy smiles. I don't want to lose my best friend or the small, tight-knit circle we built. So now I'm here, overthinking every word, every possibility, wondering if I should even bring the story to the polyamory subreddit. Would people there understand? Would they think I'm naive or just curious? I don't even know what I'm looking for: validation, advice, maybe just someone to tell me I'm not crazy for feeling all this confusion and fear mixed with curiosity and longing.